Elite Facts presents
Unbelievable ghost sightings caught on camera.
10.
Leeds General Infirmary ghost. First up is a truly creepy paranormal sighting caught on camera at Leeds General Infirmary. It was the start of a shift for 21-year-old Andrew Milburn when he took this photo of a hospital corridor. After texting it to his girlfriend to show where he was, he had no idea what to think of the ghostly nurse wandering around the children's ward that he had captured on camera. According to Andrew himself, he had always been skeptical about ghosts and other paranormal happenings, but thanks to this chilling encounter, he said he had definitely changed his opinion about paranormal spirits.
9.
Watching from the window. These sorts of sightings are pretty common, but still spine-chilling nonetheless. At first glance, it appears to show a very nice-looking suburban home, but before you decide to put a down payment on a house and move into this neighborhood, you may want to take a closer look at this picture, because there's something very wrong here. Closer inspection of the window reveals a gray ghost peeking at the photographer from behind the curtains. Homeowner Paul Sicuro, who took the picture, said his mother was the only person in the house at the time, and it's not her. Paul said that not only have they experienced strange activity in the house, but the former owners did as well.
8.
First dance. There's nothing more romantic than a paranormal sighting, is there? This image only recently entered into infamous status, thanks to the ghost chasers Toowoomba. It shows a husband and wife taking their first dance together as a married couple. It's adorable, right? Well, unfortunately, this wonderful memory has been tarnished because of a visit from a paranormal spirit. If you look to the right of the couple, you'll see the image of a little girl who looks as though she wants to get in on the fun. This seems to be one of those rare ghost sightings where the whole sighting is relatively innocent, but we can never be completely sure.
7.
Side mirror nightmares. When Guillermo Sosa decided to sell his car, he thought an online advertisement was the best way to find a buyer. When he took a photo for the website he was selling it on, nobody was in the way of the shot. At least that's what he thought. If you look closely at the driver's side mirror, you'll see quite the chilling sight. Mr. Sosa said he was not aware of any incidents involving previous owners of the car being visited by ghostly apparitions, and he had not experienced any himself prior to this. Ghost expert Gordon Rudder, author of Ghosts Caught on Film 3, said, quote, "A backseat reflection would look much more like, well, a backseat."
6.
Monet's ghost. This one is definitely one you should know about. We're assuming you've heard of the famous painter Monet. Well, here is one of the most interesting real ghost sightings we've ever come across. Monet was apparently snapped at the Cleveland Museum of Art while they were holding an exhibit dedicated to the French painter. The director of architecture at the museum was simply taking photographs of the interior when he ended up snapping a photo of this rather snazzy-looking chap who bore quite the resemblance to Monet himself. Perhaps he was returning to take a look around the exhibit. Of course, there was no one on the balcony at the time the photo was taken.
5.
Old Man Kent. It's pretty safe to say that the UK has more than its fair share of ghost sightings. Well, here's one that doesn't get talked about nearly as much as it should. Michelle Midwinter took this photo of her new house to share with family and friends. She went outside, snapped a photo, and then went back inside. After looking closely at the photo, she noticed a face staring back at her from the bottom right window of the house. When you zoom in, you can clearly see a nose, eyes, and shoulders, the face of a man staring directly back at you. It is incredibly unsettling, to say the least. Michelle posted the image online and was eventually contacted by a historian local to her area who believed that the apparition in the image may be a man who was known as Old Man Kent, a criminal suspect from back in 1860. Michelle dismissed the image as nothing more than reflections and refractions of light from the flowers outside her window, but following further paranormal sightings and activity within the house, such as cold spots and lights flickering, it seems like Michelle is now a believer. 4. Life of the party. Here we have a group of friends posing together as they get ready for a night out. A small child is crying to the right of the image, and you can see the image of another small child between the second and third people in the picture. Apparently, the reason why the little girl at the right-hand side of the image was crying was because she felt someone push her in the small of her back just a few seconds before the picture was taken. But of course, there was no one in the room responsible for pushing her. She'd originally been standing where the ghost is seen in the image, so it seems like the ghost had pushed her out of the way so that he or she could be seen.
3.
The Norwegian mountain troll. This is more mythical than it is paranormal, but this picture still needs to be mentioned here. Many think that this is a photo capturing the great Norwegian mountain troll. It was taken in December of 1942 by the crew of an RAF recon flight 300 miles north of Berge.
2.
The Decibel Hotel haunting. Next up, we head to Romania's Decibel Hotel. This 150-year-old hotel is allegedly home to a chilling spirit. There's a rumor that the ghost of a tall woman in a long white frock is haunting the spa. No evidence of this ghost existed until 2008, when 33-year-old Victoria Iovan photographed her boyfriend at the hotel with the legendary apparition in the background.
1.
The Cooper family hanging ghost. Here we have one of the most notorious ghost sightings ever caught on camera. This creepy photo has been shrouded in mystery for years, ever since it first made its way to mainstream media outlets, and it is probably the most peculiar ghost ever caught on camera. The story goes back to the mid-1950s, when the Cooper family moved into an old house they had bought in Texas, and they were really excited about it. They decided to preserve this memory by taking a picture of the whole family in their new home. But when they took this photo of their celebration, they weren't expecting to see an added guest, a spooky figure hanging upside down from the ceiling. There are stories that say an actual body fell from the ceiling at the exact time that the photograph was taken, but why the face of the body remains darkened is another question altogether. A faceless body or paranormal activity? Who knows which part is true?
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.